Welcome to Social Sunday by Milton Artist Guild. Today we are working on making bracelets, which can happen if they're tied together at the end, or you can leave them long and then they can become bookmarks. So either way, what we're going to do is weave this on straws. Any kind of yarn will work, but it's kind of fun to use the variegated yarn, which was this one, and it makes its own colors. What you take is 3 straws and make them even at the bottom, and then take a piece of tape and put it around the bottom so that there's a stop there, that they're tied together in essence with tape. Then you take your yarn and start in between any 2 of them, any 2 of the straws, and go to the outside of the straw and then take it through the other 2 to the outside again, go around the outside, through the other 2, and come to the outside again. What you're doing is ending up beginning to weave down where my hand is. Okay, around the outside one, in between the other 2, around the outside one, in between the other 2, around the outside, in between the other 2, around the outside. Now, you kind of push them down a little, not super tight, but down so that they're closer together. When they come off of the straws, they will loosen up a bit. So you can make them kind of tight down here at the bottom. So I will be weaving for a while. Around the outside, between the straws, around the outside, between the straws, around the outside, between the straws. Stop and push down a little. It's beginning to look like a weaving, in that you have the yarn going across the straws. I'm coming around the pink one, around the end, over the green, around the yellow one. This time it's under the green, around the pink one. We are at the point of going to the next step, that we have woven on the 3 straws. What we're going to do is end off this one and cut it, and then, yes. And then we need 3 pieces of yarn that are longer than the straws. So it'll be 1, 2, 3. To make it a little bit easier on us taking this off of the essentially loom of straws, we're also going to cut the straws down a bit so that it's easier to take them off. And that means I cut them off. Boing. Now I take one of my new pieces of yarn and put it down each of the straws. Now we're ready to take the straws out from our weaving. And this is kind of fun in itself. What we have is our 3 straws with yarn wrapped around. We have our 2 end pieces. And then we have our 3 pieces that came through the straws. And I'm going to take my end piece and one of the yarns that came through the straws, and I'm going to tie those 2 together with a double knot. This is to tie them off. And then the other 2 pieces together. So we end up with 2 knots. And sometimes they scoot out, so you may have to pull your yarn down from the other end. And we want to tie those 2 knots together. So we're going to tie the pairs together in a knot. What we're going to do is push all of this yarn off onto the strings that we've already tied. And in order to do that, you hold at the end where the tape is and push and push and push to push the yarn off the end. Finishing it off, I need to cut the tape off of the ends without cutting my yarn, so that I can then take the straws completely out. Then it's just the question of knotting these again, similar to what we did, just like what we did at the other end, of knotting 2 together. Knotting the other 2 together. And knotting the 2 pairs together. Now I make the decision whether I'm going to be making a bookmark, in which case I leave it long and cut off the ends so that they match. Or if I want to make it a bracelet, I'm going to put it around my wrist and tie the ends together. You want it to be tight enough to stay on, but you want to be able to take it off as well. So I have a friend who's going to help me.
guess.
Now I can cut off my ends. About the right height.